TalkinBallWarriors.org.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, boom, we're off, we're running. It's another brand new live edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. This hour brought to you by our good friends at Talent Heating and Air, 256-503-4490. Let them put their talent to work for you. It's Talent Heating and Air. They serve the Huntsville area and surrounding areas. They offer solutions to fit your needs, package systems, heat pumps, multi-split systems. They've got it all. Again, you can find them at talenthvac.com or 256-503-4490. It's our good friends at Talent Heating and Air. Got a lot of stuff to get through today, a lot of college basketball news and notes. We also have a lot of college football conversation going on as well. But last night inside Coleman Coliseum, SEC basketball, Alabama 111-73 winners over Mississippi State. Alabama's 22 three-pointers is the second highest single game total in program history last night, the most since the Tide connected on 23 back in 2021 against LSU. Chris Youngblood, 7 of 11 from deep, scoring a season-high 27 points. Mark Sears, his second double-double of the season, 21 points, team-high 10 assists. As Alabama's 38-point victory is the second largest margin of victory over Mississippi State and most since January 18th of 2005 when they got a 98-49 win. It was also their 8th consecutive victory over the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I remember the 98-49. That was a delicious one. That was over Rick Stansberry and the cheaters from Mississippi State at the time, and beat them 50. And that was pretty satisfying. Ernest Shelton and the crew shot the lights out. It was actually interesting last night. The Alabama didn't get off to the hottest start.
Right.
It wasn't, this was a 6-5 game at the first media timeout in the first 4 minutes, but they quickly warmed up. And yeah, I just kept thinking about what Robbie Falk of On3Sports.com told us yesterday. He said, State is 17-0 when they don't give up 10 threes. When they give up 10 threes, they're 2-8. Well, they're 2-9. And he said if they give up 10 threes plus, they're probably going to get blown out. Well, they gave up a lot more than that. And
well, once you get past a certain number, it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, within the first, 12 minutes of the game, Alabama had already made about 8 of them, so I knew they were in big trouble.
Right.
And Chris Youngblood, he loves him some State because he's 14 of 21 from 3 in the 2 games against them. So, I mean, he's averaging almost 25 points a game in the 2 hookups with Mississippi State. So, Sears, as you said, 21-10, had a very strong outing. And then I just thought overall it was a very balanced performance for Alabama. Aiden Holloway had 13 more. LeBaron Philon, 10, only 2 turnovers. And he and Holloway have done a nice job of allowing Mark Sears to play off the ball. A little bit better effort from Grant Nelson. He did win the hard hat last night. He's still struggling on offense some, and I asked Nate Oates about that after the game because it just looks like to me that he's a little hesitant. Now,
right.
He did have a good rim run for a big dunk, and it seemed like he was starting to, as the game went on, get a little more confident and aggressive because he had a couple of those nice rim runs. But, again, they're going to need Grant Nelson down the stretch to be what he's capable of becoming, and that is a first-team all-conference type guy without question. But, again, it was good to see Alabama put Mississippi State away and get an easy win. And now they've got this brutal 3-game stretch coming up. And, Tennessee wasn't super impressive last night against LSU, but they won. And Alabama, they're on the one line still, but I still say if you go 2-1 before you get to Nashville in this 3-game stretch against top 5 teams, you're going to lock up a 1 seed. But Alabama got some unexpected help last night, Scott. I mean, I think we all saw that.
Yeah. And before we get to all that, here is I got to click one button here. No, I don't. Here is Nate Oates talking about the win last night.
What we'd had, I think it's the first time we've led it the first media timeout since Arkansas. So been stressing to have a little bit better sense of urgency to start the games. I thought LeBaron's sense of urgency to get stops on Hubbard was really good. That's what we need out of LeBaron every night. I thought he played great. He ended up with 10 and 5 with only 2 turnovers. But I thought, it's one of those deals where when you just get really locked into the right stuff and lose yourself in the game, the offense comes a lot easier. He shot 2 of 5 from 3, contributed to the 22 threes we made. So I was happy with his defense, but there's other guys that took their turn on Hubbard that I thought did a pretty good job. I thought Sears had some moments on him. And he scored 21, but he got a lot of those late after we were up 30. I thought when the game was still undecided, particularly in the first half, he only had 6. And I liked our sense of urgency on defense. Barron's defensive leverage is a positive 19. It showed because he did a really good job on their best player. Thought, Youngblood was really locked into getting stops and trying to hold guys accountable, and he was positive 36 in his defensive leverage. Thought Cliff's had a sense of urgency these last 2 games that did a little bit better than what he's had, and he was plus 21 on a defensive leverage. So you kind of look at the guys that were positive on the defensive end and see, Grant was positive, Sears was positive on that defensive end. And that's what we're stressing. That's what we're really trying to get out of the guys, A
little bit of Nate Oates there after the win last night against Mississippi State. And by the way, the 22 threes that Alabama hit were the most for Alabama in a win over an AP-ranked team in program history. So there you go. And you were mentioning the help. Well, the help came in the form from Athens, Georgia, of all places. The score was 51-35, Georgia over Florida at the break.
It was.
Florida did outscore Georgia 48-37 in the second half, but it's not enough. Georgia upsets Florida last night, 88-83 inside Stegman Coliseum.
And when you have a lead like that in the second half, and then Florida actually came all the way back and took a very brief 2-point lead. And then with just over a minute to play, Georgia was able to get a big 3 from Blue Kane that gave them an 81-80 lead, and then they got a couple of stops and was able to make some free throws to extend it and hold on to win this game. But that in most cases, when you see a lead blown like Florida, you was able to overcome, and then that Georgia gave up. Georgia's kind of found a way to lose lately, and I was watching that because this was wrapping up as Alabama was getting underway, and you're watching it because it was going to give Alabama a potential, chance to be by itself in second place if they won the game. So you're like, okay, let's see if the Dogs can, and it would also allow Mike White's team to stay in the bubble conversation.
Right, and did it.
And so they did. They held on, and they won the basketball game 88-83, and it gave Alabama a big opportunity now. And they went out and they took care of business against Mississippi State. And I still say if they win 2 of their last 3, if they could find a way to go 1-1 against Tennessee and Auburn, both of them are going to be very, very difficult games on the road. Then I think Alabama already has a very compelling case even before going to Nashville of being a number 1 seed.
Look what's in the studio.
Yeah, speaking of number one.
Wow, it's going to make its way. We'll have a surprise here in about 20 minutes.
Right.
So Georgia gets the win over Florida. Now, what was funny about that ball game is Georgia's AD and Kirby Smart during the ball, as it was closing down, said, "Hey guys, let's not storm the court."
Because
they waited for Florida to leave. They did the minute, because there's a rule that if you go I think it's like a minute or something, or 2 minutes after the game, and the visiting team leaves or the team leaves, you can storm the court all you want and not get fined.
Oh, there's a loophole.
There is a loophole.
Gotcha.
And Missouri's used it, a couple other schools. So Georgia last night used the loophole, stormed the court.
Would lose the NIL money.
Yeah,
come on, let's be honest. That's what they're doing. I mean, Dennis Gates.
Well, that's what they're using. They're saying, hey, look, this is going to come out of the NIL money. But anyway, so they stormed the court, yes, in Athens, but they will not get fined because they waited for Florida to leave and the minute or whatever time on the clock. So it's all good. So
you know why you storm the court? Because you're losers and you don't ever expect to win.
Well, Georgia basketball has had some rough times, but Mike White is trying to bring something back there. He's trying.
And
they're 17-11, 5-10 in the league.
And he stuck it to his former employer last night.
That he did. Other scores from around the league: Tennessee, a 65-59 winner over LSU last night, and 14th ranked Missouri thumps South Carolina 101-71. So much for back-to-back wins in the conference for the Big Dogs.
At least they won one. But way to go, Rodney Terry. Way to lay a turd.
Anyway, let's get out to the phone lines. Let's visit with Mark from Spring Hill. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Mark.
Hey, roll tide, guys.
Yeah, it was a great performance by Alabama last night, especially offensively, but I thought defensively as well. They played with a lot of intensity and kept it up for much of the contest. Now, a little bit of lack, they got a little lax in the second half, but hey, they took care of business, which is what they got to do this time of year. And now we do this stretch was coming, and then we got an unexpected result last night with Florida, dropping a game nobody was expecting, but still a very difficult stretch for Alabama coming up.
Yeah, and the one thing I was going to ask you guys, Coach Saban, I remember when he was notorious for people calling in, one asking why has he got his starting quarterback in up 42-6 and with 7 minutes to go. We've heard that a lot when he was coaching in football. Last night, I just thought I was going to get y'all's take on this. Sears goes down with an injury. Doesn't mean it's going to hurt the team for sure. He came out at 4 minutes to go. Your thoughts on that? Up 35.
I thought, look, they've already started backing off of him in practice, so they would have fresher legs. Maybe he could have taken Sears out, a minute or two earlier, but I think. As Nate said after the game, Mark was very aware that he could get another double-double and have 10 assists. I think he wanted 10 assists. I think he wanted to be out there on the floor. They got Sharnowski in probably for as long as they've had him in a while. I think that was about the last 3+ minutes.
And to me, basketball is a little bit different,
right?
If you pull someone out at 4 minutes, that's a long time for your bench.
Well, that's a full media timeout. Yes. In other words, that's your last media timeout. And last night it happened to come right at the 4 minute mark,
right?
And so I thought he got him out of there and got him some rest. And again, you got to understand too, with Houston Millett out, Darion Reed out, Latrell Wrightsell. They've got 3 guys out, and so
they dress 15 or they dress.
Well, I'm just saying they only had 9 available, and if you talk about Sharnowski, that's 10. So they only had 9 scholarship players, so they didn't have as deep a bench as they've had. So
that's why basketball's a little bit different.
And they're redshirting Nas Cunningham.
Yeah, so. you don't have 70 or 65 guys on the sidelines that you can say, okay, let's go put all these guys out there. You don't have all that sometimes in basketball. And so 4 minutes is a long time to say, okay, let's start pulling our starters at 4 and 5 minutes left in the game. That's a long time. That's usually about when lots of times these guys.
And he pulled Nelson pretty early, even though and he had missed practice. He told us that's why he was on the injury report and then taken off of it. He had a bruised shin, so he did not practice the day before. So, but like he said, they're making a conscious effort in practice to save their legs, and so I thought he handled everything pretty well last night, getting guys out of the game.
I think that makes sense. I didn't realize they only had, my God, it looked like they had about 12 guys that could play, but you told me they only had 9 guys available. So Alabama's deep. I know the announcer was talking about this is maybe the deepest team. We got 3 guys out that's going to come back, or we got 3 guys that's out?
Hopefully DeArmond Reed will be back at some point. He would be the 10th guy, but that's it. I mean, Sharnowski only gets a chance to play during the kind of situations you saw last night. He's a walk-on, a senior.
Where there's a nice gap.
He gets to play. I mean, he tried to score last night. They really did. They tried to get him the ball for him to score, and it was a struggle bus. But, I mean, again, he's not going to play unless it's a blowout type situation. Hopefully he'll get to play against Florida only because it's senior day in the last couple of minutes or whatnot, because he's one of those seniors. But again, Alabama's got a lot to play for. I mean, you're playing at worst for the number 2 seed in the SEC tournament right now. Certainly you're still trying to chase Auburn. That's going to be very, very difficult. You're 2 games behind the Tigers. But again, right now, Alabama would like to get one of the top 4 seeds in the SEC tournament and potentially a 2 seed, because if you're a 2, you're on the opposite side of the bracket from Auburn.
All right, let's get our first break in of the morning. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more college basketball. We also got some college football conversation to get in as well. And then at the bottom of the hour, oh boy, we've got a little gift for us here. We'll explain it all coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got an injury wreck in Decatur Highway 20 near State Docks Road. Also showing a report around the Beltline in Highway 20. I think that actually is going to be the same accident, and it's actually near State Docks Road. And we got one in Scottsboro in Jackson County, Highway 79 at Owens Drive. Have you tried numerous weight loss plans and nothing seems to work? Your hormones could be the problem. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
You guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
We're studying game film,
Seems to me there's more to college than just hitting the books.
scribbling X's and O's, even running wind sprints to get our voices in shape. All this for our coverage of college football just for you.
Just leave it to the profession.
From spring drills to hoisting the national championship trophy. When you want football, you want 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Never miss 1 second of Charger basketball with the Charger Zone.
Murr attacks it, lobs it, giving it down is Daniel Saylor on the alley-oop right out of the game.
Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
There you go. 7:20 on a Wednesday morning. We'll have UAH basketball for you tomorrow night. Chargers hit the road, take on West Alabama to wrap up the regular season tomorrow night in Livingston. Tonight, we will have Lipscomb and Central Arkansas basketball for you from Nashville. I'm still upset you're not going. I know you haven't got much sleep, but
Not much at all.
I'm still kind of disappointed you're not making the trek with us. But you do have something. This is a first.
Yeah, I don't know if Johnny Boy's had this. I don't think. Now, I know Joe Hunk is a Diet Dr. Pepper aficionado, but I found this yesterday, and it had been recommended to me by multiple people.
It's Dr. Pepper zero sugar.
Yeah.
Blackberry.
Now, I'm a big blackberry jam fan, okay? Whether it be sugar-free or just regular blackberry.
You like it on
jam.
toast or biscuits?
Both. So
Okay.
I can handle some blackberry jam. So
Okay.
I found this and I was like, I'm hoping this is not as bad as Mountain Dew Pitch Black. Because if it is, I may spit it all over that friggin'
no, don't do that.
A window there.
Don't do that.
But yeah,
Don't do that.
I found this on a lark yesterday at Jack's truck stop in Good Hope, Alabama, aka Drew's truck stop, because I stop there all the time.
That's the one you use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I used it, and I was like, well, I need some caffeine. I need to get something to drink. And then all of a sudden, I look, and I'm like, well, what in the hell is that? And then I read the label, and I'm like, that's what they were telling me to try.
So give this a whirl.
Yeah, Scott is recording this.
I am.
As I give this a whirl here with our countdown here, and it didn't spew everywhere, so that's a good sign. I'm going to smell it first.
Just taste it.
Wow, it's pretty interesting smell there, Scott.
Diet Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's actually regular Dr. Pepper.
Oh, wow. Zero sugar. Okay.
Yeah, but with blackberry. It's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's great. I would say it's better than John's favorite, which of course is strawberries and cream. But and it's definitely better than the rancid stuff I accidentally got one time with Coke Zero, which was cream orange Coke Zero, which I got at a hotel accidentally because I thought it was cherry Coke Zero, and I hit the button, and then it comes out of there, and then I had to hold my nose to drink it all in the hotel room because it cost $6,000, and there was no way I was going to pour it out, because when you pay $3 for some soda, there's no way in hell
you're gonna just pour it out.
You're just gonna pour it out.
All
But this is okay here. I haven't decided if I would drink it again yet.
Well, keep working on it. While you do that, let's go visit with Steeler Mike on the phone lines.
Yeah,
So good
let's
morning,
do that.
Steeler Mike.
Scotty, Too Hottie, and Phil Jr. How we doing this morning, gentlemen?
That
What's up,
never
Steeler
gets
Mike?
old.
Yeah.
The Phil Jr.
I
part.
know.
I love it.
I know. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
I know Drew and you guys were probably watching Alabama as Tennessee slept through LSU as the worst
That's what
game.
it seemed. I didn't watch the game, but looking at the score and and I did look at the box score, it seemed as though it was a little bit of a sleepwalk there for Tennessee, but they got it done.
I kind of fell asleep 2 or 3 times during the game. It was the worst game ever. Wanted to know, get your guys' take on Matt McMahon at LSU. You think he gets another year? Very, very young team. They play really hard. They just don't have the talent as the big boys in the SEC right now. But see if you guys think he gets another year. And then my other question is, Drew, can you call Daddy and see if you can get us tickets for Knoxville? We'll sit right by your dad at the Tennessee-Alabama game. Talk to y'all soon.
There is
Love
no
y'all.
way in hell that I am going to that crap hole in Knoxville. That's just all I can say. I will be watching on television in Thompson Bowling toilet.
So if we said we need you to go up there, do some stuff for the station in Thompson Bowling Arena, you
First
would
of all,
not
you would
go.
never do that because I hate it. And so, but I'm not doing that. I can do all that from home. And I would just, the last time I went to Vomit Land, Alabama won a football game in 2014. So, and then I did go this year with Huntsville High to Knox Webb. Very nice campus, very great, very good folks there, very good showcase that Huntsville played in.
Right.
Enjoyed myself there, but I did not have to go all the way into Knoxville and subject myself to all of the puke orange over there. No, so I do not plan on going to Knoxville, but I plan on watching. It should be a high-level basketball game against Rick Barnes' squad. And quite frankly, that helped Tennessee last night as well, because Tennessee is fighting for a 1 seed and split with the Florida Gators. So it really kind of heightens the matchup of 2 teams that are 23-5 and ranked in the top 6 in the country right now.
They needed it because the top 4 teams in the league get that double bye, remember?
And they get
so
the double
Tennessee
bye,
and Missouri right now are tied at 10-5 in the conference.
Mizzou.
Yeah, there.
Look out.
All right. So as far as Matt McMahon, we'll get to that here in just a little bit.
I'll make a quick comment on that.
Quick.
Because remember, we talked to Blake Lovell about it.
Right.
I think he's going to get another year. I think he's going to get one more year to try to get them back in the NCAA tournament.
Use a little NIL money to bolster that roster.
Because I think their roster right now, I don't know that they've invested as much as some others. And so I think they need a talent infusion.
All right, let's get to Bryce on the phone lines. Good morning, Bryce.
What's up, Bryce?
Good morning, guys. Guys, if Alabama plays like they did, and y'all probably gonna have them come get the straight jacket, they could run the table. If they play anywhere near like they played last night, defensive wise, and hit not as many threes, but at least they're part of the threes, they could run the table. It's not out of the question.
It's not, Bryce, but remember they shot like that against Texas on the road and blew Texas off the floor and then lost 2 in a row. So, I mean, and then Mississippi State, I'll stick up for Chris Jans. They were rolling about a week ago, and then they go to Oklahoma. They lay a turd in the second half, and then they just get obliterated last night. So the league is very, very difficult.
Yeah, and shooting the basketball, yes, life is easier when things go in.
Right.
But why did the ball actually go in? Because lots of times if you are playing great defense and you start making plays on the defensive side, it's not saying that the ball is going to go in every time, but you start playing with a whole lot more confidence and you start doing things a little bit better on the offensive side. It's no coincidence that the defensive effort was up last night and the ball started going in.
Well, and also too, we'll let Bryce finish his thought in just a second, but I think also when you play like Alabama did, like Chris Jan said it himself afterward, he said it was contagious. He's like everybody when Alabama started shooting the three and it started going in, because there was a crazy stat that Nick Kelly came up with, Scott. Alabama made 10 of their first 19 threes and yet was 1 of 7 on layups. They were just absolutely torching the net. And when a couple guys like Youngblood get hot and Sears and they throw some in, then a lot of guys start, shooting the ball well.
Right.
That's true. But, getting back to Tennessee, there's only one thing that I like out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Well, there really was 2, but one of them has gone and deceased. I mean, how could you not like my mind went blank. The lady, Bob's lady that was so good.
Pat Summit.
Pat Summit, yeah. And Rick Barnes is a super nice guy.
Yes,
I mean, I don't want to see him win, but he's the only thing I like from Tennessee. Anything else, them two was the only thing that I even thought about liking from Tennessee. And of course, way back Johnny Majors, but
Conridge Holloway.
Well, yeah, Congress Holloway, but I'm talking about coaches.
Right.
Is what I was talking about,
right.
Drew.
Gotcha.
But Alabama, they really stepped it up on defense. I look at that first half, Hubbard only has 6 points, but I look at the end of the game, he's got 21. That just shows you how good that guy is.
Yep. All right, Bryce.
I appreciate y'all.
All
And y'all have. Hey, when does Spring Hill play Brilliant?
Spring Garden plays Brilliant tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at 4
Okay,
o'clock
is
on
that for
Thursday.
the championship?
Yes.
1A girls. That's correct.
All right. Well, I hope they win. Hey, guys, I appreciate y'all letting me talk, and y'all have a good day.
All right, thanks, Bryce. All right, 7:30 on the dot. Let's get a break in because when we come back, going to be joined not by one, but we got 2 visitors in the studio.
Oh, we got 2 now.
2. Well, I mean, yes.
Oh, well, you get the surprise you were talking
Yes, 2. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get a break in. We'll fill everybody in next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A fantastic Wednesday afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. Temperatures consistently going to climb into the lower 70s today. The average high temperature somewhere in the upper 50s and lower 60s, dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. There could be a couple of isolated showers through the early and middle part of Thursday morning. The vast majority of us going to end up staying dry. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Thursday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got an injury wreck indicator Highway 20 near State Docks Road. Also showing a report around the belt line in Highway 20. I think that actually is going to be the same accident, and it's actually near State Docks Road. And we got one in Scottsboro in Jackson County, Highway 79 at Owens Drive. Have you tried numerous weight loss plans and nothing seems to work? Your hormones could be the problem. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
This is Steve Moulton for Lee's Magic Tunnel. Do you live out of your car? Does your car look like you've been well lived in? Then take your vehicle to Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway. Any size of the vehicle, it doesn't matter. Lee's will get it clean. Offering many types of washes, but getting it clean inside and out. Ask for the manager special. That's at Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway, and located online at leesmagictunnel.com for more information.
Sports Talk, 24/7, 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The
Doesn't
Zone.
anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
All right, 7:34 on a Wednesday morning. Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. And if you're watching us on WZZN TV, our YouTube channel, as well as Twitter right now, or X, I should say, not Twitter, we are joined by a couple guests in studio this morning. Through DeArmond, we've got Joel Lamp with us, as well as a nice, fantastic piece of hardware. And
that was your surprise.
That was we have the Conference USA Tournament Championship Trophy in studio.
Yeah, because last week we tried this, but we had our second snowmageddon of the winter. And then I was on site in Jacksonville, Alabama, because Huntsville High basketball had to leave a day early. And then, of course, we had the disasters with that
was just a crappy day. That was a crappy day.
That show was
we threw that one away.
Well, I noticed it didn't get posted there. I think it did get posted. That was another show. But no, we tried. I'll just give it. No, we gave the old college try, but it was an ugly show.
Well, he is back, and this was supposed to happen last week.
Right. Now it's everything's smoother. We're in studio.
Yes.
And now we have our good friend Joel Lamp,
the sports development manager.
Yeah, there you go. And we have this beautiful trophy.
Welcome in.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad to bring the world's biggest paperweight with me. This is fantastic to bring it around.
Yes.
And get ready. Hey, 2 weeks from now, less than 2 weeks, we are starting March Madness here in Huntsville.
So tonight we are doing Lipscomb and Central Arkansas. It's a big game for Lipscomb and UNA because the winner will win a share of the title, or one could win outright with a loss versus each other. Now, tomorrow night on Conference USA side, Jack State has themselves a massive game.
Mm-hmm.
They are at Liberty with pretty much. They've got 3 games. Jacksonville State has 3 games. Liberty has 4 games left. But first place is on the line, and the big thing with first place, talking about UNA and Lipscomb, and then Jacksonville State and Liberty. If you can get first place, you are guaranteed a trip to the postseason. You can get the NIT bid. You have.
Do they still do that for those? Okay.
So you still have, you've got a game still left in March to play, which is massive for everybody at the major level. And then for Liberty and Jacksonville State, this is actually a big resume game for whoever wins, because now it puts them in it gives them the number 1 seed.
Right.
But 2, it really boosts their profile. So if they do win the tournament, they're moving up that seed line to be one of the top mid-major teams when the bracket comes out.
So Jack State, Liberty, Middle Tennessee State, New Mexico State, all kind of sitting there within striking distance. New Mexico State, 2 games, I believe, back of Jack State.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty. Now, of course, Liberty has some UAH ties to it as well. So a lot of great basketball on the guys' side. What does that women's side look like?
You've got Middle Tennessee's a game up on Liberty and 2 games up on Western Kentucky. And Middle Tennessee's women's team, if you didn't get to watch them last year, they have Coach Insell and their program is a really, really fun team to watch. They've got a great group of young ladies who can shoot the ball, and they've got some really strong post play. And Liberty is kind of the same way. They've tried to mirror what Middleton. You've got to beat them,
right?
So
right.
you probably need to start figuring out how you can build your roster around that. And they've got some really good pieces. They play, I believe, next weekend to end the season. And so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Western Kentucky is the only team to beat Middle's women's team in the last 3 years in Conference USA. So there's a little revenge that's going to be coming for Western Kentucky when Middle comes calling here in a week or so. But you've got some really good women's basketball. And again, those 2 teams, Middle Tennessee's the second round of the NCAA tournament last year. So this
and they beat Tennessee, by the way, and that led to a coaching change.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It's always it was funny when we were sitting there post game, we're like,
right.
This one may come back to haunt some people at the end of the year. And it was the first time Middle had won. And as soon as they walked out, they're like, listen, you want us back? What heck, we'll move every game down here.
Except don't put the ice on the floor. That night was one of the coldest nights for basketball that I've been a part of.
Well, look, we did 2 remotes too, so I got a little pieces of that, and I came to 2 days of the event. I thought it was outstanding. I love the high level college basketball, and I got a chance to talk to Steve Lutz a little bit, and Joel Lamp and those guys helped him get a job because he certainly moved up.
I tell you what, it wasn't. Hey, I'm done. I'm either going to get you a job or I'm going to get you fired. There's not much in between. And Steve had a big win last night.
Yeah,
Oklahoma State got a big win. So that's you're seeing teams on the rise that can go and make noise in March Madness. You're seeing the coaches who are going to go, somebody from here probably is going to get that next job and can go make some noise.
Well, Kennesaw State will be here, right?
Correct. Yes.
Kennesaw State will be here. And of course, Kennesaw State led by former Alabama assistant, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Antoine Petway. And of course, he has Willie Watson on his staff, who was part of UNA, and Tony Pujol for a while as well. So some very familiar names. And Philip Pearson. Don't forget Philip Pearson, Jeff Davis graduate. Longtime Alabama assistant, also walked on for the University of Alabama, played for Wimp Sanderson. And Scott, another trivia question for you on the show.
Oh, geez, I suck at these.
Who is Philip Pearson's roommate at Alabama?
I don't know.
Tim Miller.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? Tim Miller has told me that before.
Yeah.
So I should feel
Jeff
bad for
Davis.
not knowing
That's
that.
fantastic. That's fantastic.
So, and by the way, Coach Miller, they will be taking to the court today at the state tournament, and it's a huge game against Park Crossing, 31-1 team that has beaten Hazel Green in the regular season. But we all know that Hazel Green's ladies are trying to win 8 in a row, much like the Spring Garden ladies are trying to win 3 in a row. So again, but that's Philip Pearson will be there with Kennesaw State, and Petway's doing a good job. We bring up Steve Lutz because it's very interesting, his meteoric rise, because I had a chance to cover him when he brought Texas A&M Corpus Christi to the first round. They played Alabama over in Birmingham, and then he went to Western Kentucky, won the conference tournament. I think it's the 3 seed, Joel, if I remember correctly. They got hot, and then he was there for a year and then went to Oklahoma State. So he's moved up the ladder very, very quickly.
He did a phenomenal job of taking Western Kentucky in a short. When you look at it, Western Kentucky came out of nowhere last year. He got him a number 3 seed, and they were that team when we were looking at the beginning of the year. They're the team that could really go do some damage.
Right.
And he did a phenomenal job and unlocked a program that has so much history and tradition and a huge fan base. It was fun to see them come down. And when you look at this league, you've got some really strong teams and programs that are starting to figure some things out. New Mexico State, long time.
Chris Jans, we talked about Chris Jans this morning.
Chris Jans is the one who put them back together. And coach
wasn't for some missed free throws, Auburn may not have gotten out of round 1 to go to the Final Four that year against Chris Jans in New Mexico State.
And you think about that, that's Jans was able to parlay that into the Mississippi State job. Jason Hooten, who's the coach at New Mexico State right now, he's done an amazing job of building that program back to where it's lofty heights, where UTEP, everybody remembers the Glory Road movie and everything.
Yep.
And the story with the Don Haskins. So you've got a team, program that's won a national title, very proud program.
Tim Floyd was there a couple times.
Tim Floyd was there. You've got a really good program. And then Middle Tennessee, they've got a strong fan base. Liberty, with what Coach McKay is the winningest coach in Liberty history.
Yeah, that's right.
And they are a top 60 team in the country. And that's the level of basketball we're going to have. We're going to have teams that are going to be in that conversation for a 12 seed playing here in Huntsville.
Yeah, I believe last year Western got a 14, but again, they played exceptional basketball. And And then this year, as you said, Joel, it could potentially maybe a 12, depending on who wins the conference tournament. Because I know Liberty has got a great history, in the tournament. You mentioned New Mexico State. It's good to see Western Kentucky. I know it's a little difficult but see, that's shows the infrastructure they have. That when you have a guy like Lutz who's there for a year, but still, it shows the potential of your job and that you can go there and move and work your way up. But it's a really good league overall. And I got to give Ray Harper a shout out because last year was rough. I know they I believe they lost in the first round of the tournament. They didn't have the kind of year he wanted to have, but they've rejiggered their squad. And now they're got a chance to win a regular season championship.
So I was talking with some friends around the conference yesterday. There were 10 NBA scouts at Jacksonville State's game on Saturday to watch Jerron Pierre.
Wow.
Everybody in the league, when Jacksonville State plays, you want to come see a guy that's got a chance to play at the next level. Jerron Pierre is the guard for Jacksonville State. He leads the league in scoring. He's averaging 25 a game. And here's the best part. He's averaging 25 a game, and everybody knows he's going to score. And if you can try to cut him off, you can cut off the head and kind of beat Jacksonville State. He's still getting his, and Jacksonville State's in tie for first place going into tomorrow night. So
part of you wants to see them there, doesn't it?
It a little bit,
does.
a little bit,
doesn't it?
It does.
Well, no, I mean, what this means though is we certainly are all blessed to know Joel and have credentials for this event.
Yes,
but this means we're going to see some NBA scouts at our event as well. Correct, Joel?
It does. It does. There's going to be a few. There's going to be a few rolling through there.
Right.
So
I mean,
let everybody know again the tournament, how to get tickets, the finals. It's on TV. I mean, this is a showcase. Well, what people don't understand is this is a huge showcase for the city of Huntsville.
It is.
It is. When we started going after this 3+ years ago, the idea was we needed to find a big event that we can get on TV and that live from Huntsville opportunity. So tickets are available at the BBC box office. That'll save you all the Ticketmaster fees. You can go get tickets now. March 15th is the championship game. 4:30 and 7:30 are the women's championships at 4:30, men's at 7:30, live on CBS Sports Network. Love to have a big crowd. You've got a chance to experience March Madness here, but before they go to the big dance the next week.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Scott, now the big question is if they get to the finals again, and who knows, the men could make a run too. We know Kermit Davis had some great teams at Middle Tennessee that won the league and then went on and did damage in the NCAA tournament, beating Tom Izzo and Michigan State one year.
Giddy Potts.
Yeah, Giddy with my man Giddy Potts. But the big question is Middle Tennessee and the ladies make a run and the men make a run, is Jeff and the Borough going to sneak into town?
No.
I hope not.
I got a feeling you'll see half. If you're looking to rob a bank on a day, Saturday
Murfreesboro
will have a
They're
little
going to
bit
come
less
up here, man,
population.
because it's a straight shot drive for them. I mean,
completely.
They basically took the arena over last year, correct?
They did.
Wow.
They did. It was fun watching that semifinal with Western against Middle on Friday around lunchtime, and it was fantastic. And that's the other thing. Hey, if you don't have lunch plans on Friday, come out and watch the men's semifinals. It's the men's semifinals start at 11:30 on Friday, the 14th. We've got games starting on March 11th, and we'll be going all the way to somebody's cutting down the nets on March 15th.
Well, the good news is, and I've had several people that heard you, even though the show was crap last week when we were on it,
we gave it a shot, man. It was out of our control.
We did. It's
the weather.
Let me tell you,
but I'll tell you, a lot of people were listening still, and they said that thank goodness the ice. The one thing that people took away, it wasn't the ticket prices, it wasn't the dates.
Yeah.
It was that the ice will not be down on the floor for the tournament this year.
Yeah, we did a couple of shows. Scott was out; he was on assignment, but Steve and I did a couple of shows with frostbite last year.
So I'll give you. This is one of my favorite stories. There was one day last year. I think it was before y'all had gotten in the building. I walk in at like 6:30, and it's balmy, because they had turned the air up a few degrees overnight.
Okay,
and I was like. But it was like tropical. It was like,
I
was like, oh, this isn't good because we got to get the humidity back out of the building.
Right.
That was the day we had to go buy space heaters.
Oh,
and there was because we had to crank the air down all the way.
Oh,
so to make sure we didn't have any condensation
on the court. Yeah.
And
so
you can
no
go ahead.
ice.
Yeah. No ice. But we also confirmed this with Joel Lamp that our beautiful trophy here that we have on WZZN TV.
Yes.
They do not, the winning school, Western Kentucky, does not take it home and bring it back. We get a new trophy each and every year, Joel.
Yes, we do. We got these shipped in a couple weeks ago. Massive boxes. They had to wedge 2 boxes together.
Jeez.
How much do you think this one weighs?
It's got to be 40, 50 pounds.
Wow.
Drew, I'm telling you, I want you to
That's
lift
more
this
than
up.
Jeff and the Burris cigarettes.
What the hell did Jeff do to you today? I want you to lift this one up when we're done. I want you to try to lift this up here. It's a mass. It's heavy.
That'll be worse than the beer on my head, probably.
Yeah,
that was bad.
That was an epic one. He fell over with some beer on his head in the studio.
Scott didn't try it. I did. I was just trying to be a good sport.
Joel's like,
it was a
what the hell?
disaster.
I can appreciate the effort though.
Yeah, I mean, it was on Facebook. It's out there somewhere.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joel Lamp been kind enough to join us in studio this morning again. Conference USA basketball tournament. Joel, I tell you what, all the planning. I know you guys work on this for a whole year. You've only got you got a week left.
Well, I'll
you got a week left.
One of the $64,000 questions. Obviously last year was year one.
Yeah.
You thought it went really, really well. You always try to improve. What was one of the things you guys focused on to improve it?
Number one, we took out the ice.
There we go. Number one.
That was number one.
That was number one, and that got decided probably about Thursday of last year. That we had to take the ice.
Got to get the ice down, dog.
And so that in and of itself is the top thing. I think the other piece of it is really we're pushing to get. We want everybody to come out and experience the championship game.
Right. And that's really cool because it's on TV and there's 2 automatic bids, man. And the thing is, these are very high intensity games because these are 1-bid leagues. You have to win in most cases. Now there may be a year it comes around where there could be a team that could get in, but even if they don't win the league, but in 99% of the time, this is a 1-bid conference. So it's heightened intensity, and for both the men and women. Even though I think last year, in most cases, I think I saw where Middle Tennessee's ladies would have still got in once they reached the championship game. But still, in most cases, these are 1-bid leagues.
They are, but everything that they've done has all year. Is
come to that.
It comes to this point. It comes to Huntsville. And the big thing we always have to focus on is providing that great experience. That's our thing. Hey, from the moment they arrive to the moment they leave, we want to make sure they have a great experience in Huntsville. And so we've really honed in on that. And then the other piece this year is taking the partnership with Conference USA to a whole new level with our Stars of Tomorrow program.
Okay.
Huntsville is always looking for more people to come in, fill all the jobs we got. So we've got 10 colleges that have kids that are looking for jobs. So we built this Stars of Tomorrow program, and we'll have 19 students from the campuses coming in during the early part of the tournament to experience Huntsville. And then we had 200 kids apply.
Wow.
Across the conference. Like when we started this, we're thinking, hey, we'll be lucky to get 40, 50.
Right.
And we got 200, which is a huge bonus to the story of Huntsville and B, building this partnership long-term with Conference USA.
Good to see you.
Thanks,
glad
guys.
you stopped by. Glad you brought the trophy. That is
I was worried last
trophy.
week, man, because he was on the phone going down the parkway.
He was going down the interstate.
The interstate.
Here's the best part. I wasn't going anywhere.
Really?
I was just
stuck.
It was beautiful.
Stop.
And I've got to apologize. I'm responsible for everything that happened last week because we scheduled an outdoor event in February.
Oh yeah.
Had we not had an outdoor event in February, last week probably would have been fantastic.
Well, kudos though to you and your staff, because you and your staff, the Huntsville Sports Commission, everybody, everybody that put on
Revamping that schedule.
the Rocket City Showcase over there at Toyota Field. Fantastic event. It was phenomenal. The last few days, couple days, may have been a little chilly, but we had some kind of sun, and there was a lot of softball. And there was even softball played on Monday over there. A lot of softball played.
There was. It was a fantastic week, and kudos to the Trash Pandas. Their team came through. We threw everything. We got thrown everything and the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
At us last week. Snow, rain. You name it. We saw it, and with the field transition and everything that we were up against, pulled off an amazing event. The kids from the colleges to the high schools all had a great time out there. And so it was a really big step forward for us, and some efforts we've got coming down the pipe. So we're able to show everybody there probably isn't much we can't do in Huntsville now.
What was some of the feedback from the coaches?
The coaches were amazed that the field played as well as it did, being built in 48 hours. And the second was just the experience, getting in a big ballpark and still having this close feel of it. The funniest part was having the pitchers not having, they're all used to having a wall as the backstop.
Oh, okay.
And when you're the Trash Pandas, there is just net all the way down. So that front row seat it's the best
right.
seat. We were kidding around. It may be the best seat in all of softball because you're also closer to home plate than the pitcher is.
Wow.
And so the feedback we got from everybody was they loved it. And so if we can, we'll keep looking at some stuff and see what we can come up with down the road.
Maybe the SEC softball tournament.
Maybe we'll see what we can do.
Well, Patrick Murphy gave you a good, PSA
he did
there. He put it. He said he was going to be talking to all his colleagues around the league to talk about how the game went, the venue, and everything. And I thought that even though you had to move it up a day, the crowd still looked pretty solid, and it was frigid, but it looked like a lot of energy was in the ballpark. And it was their first time to come to Toyota Field. They've been to Albertville, but Alabama softball draws, man. I mean, it's a draw.
It was fun watching that crowd get into the game, and all weekend.
And it was very competitive.
Great games all weekend. There were a couple times where when Auburn walked off against Jacksonville State on Sunday, and the place just busted out, and it was like, okay, we're on to something here. This has got a lot of legs. Give us temperatures above 45 and let's see what we can do with it.
So we've done football. Mm-hmm. We've done softball from Toyota Field.
Yeah.
Just got to do basketball now.
Oh, here we go.
We've got another option for basketball we want to explore a little bit further.
Okay.
But that would be in an arena, Scott. It probably wouldn't be outside.
Why not?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
Let's do it.
I don't know. I've got a little drawing somewhere. We're kicking the tires.
Well, you guys did a great job with the Memphis Alabama game. I went to that exhibition game. Certainly, Memphis has turned into a top 20 team. We know what Alabama's done, so next time they need to know the foul situation. You know what I'm saying?
That's the best.
So Oglesby doesn't think you guys are paying him by the foul.
That was the best though, because in the middle of the game, like in the first media timeout, somebody forgot to tell Coach Hardaway from Memphis the situation.
Right.
And so Nate came over to him in the first media timeout and said, "Hey, did they tell you about the foul situation? There is no foul situation. You can't foul out." So he comes back to the Penny comes back to the huddle and was like, well, apparently they're not keeping track of the foul. So here's what we're going to do.
Well,
and then the second half just turned into a free throw shooting
Yes.
contest. I've never been at an event that we planned for like 2.5 hours. And I sat down with 5 minutes to go for like the first time. And I was like, hey, this will go by pretty quick. And it was like 30 minutes later. I was like, holy crap, what are we doing? And then I looked up, and the guy from Memphis, I think, almost had a triple-double, points, assist, and foul.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll be back next year with the squad, and we really, because they're doing a great job. We hope they win the Atlantic Sun. But I'd love to see Jakari Lane and Tate Fields in Huntsville next year.
All right, that's going to do it for hour one. Hour two coming up next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Top-ranked Auburn Tigers a 12.5-point favorite at home with Ole Miss today in SEC basketball. 153.5 the total at Neville Arena. North Alabama laying 7.5 at home with Queens. 155.5 at Flowers Hall. South Alabama visiting Southern Miss as a 7.5-point road favorite. 139.5 the total at Reed Green Coliseum. College baseball today. Troy $1.80 favorite over UAB plus 140. NASCAR Circuit of the Americas. It's the Echo Park, Texas Grand Prix on Sunday. Shane Van Gisbergen, the 5-1 favorite. Connor Zilich has gone from 5-1 to 6-1. Tyler Riddick, 7-1. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. Their locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, it's hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, of course, Sportsman Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. They're dedicated to providing care that improves lives. See, I got that right today. 256-881-5151. It's because of this Conference USA trophy that is still here. Joel Lamp was kind enough to leave the trophy because, number one, he didn't want to carry it back downstairs because it is a heavy son of a gun.
I don't think he can.
It's a heavy son of a gun. And it's going to stay here in studio for a little bit for the rest of the day. It's the Conference USA Championship trophy. We'll put some pictures out here of what it's like. But while we have about a week and a half before somebody, or about 2 weeks before somebody will bring this home, they'll start competing for it. In a good over 2 weeks from now, they'll start competing for it. There is another trophy that several other teams across the state of Alabama are trying to bring home, and that is Big Blue. And Big Blue is the state championship trophy for all the high school sports, which, by the way, they've redesigned it.
Right.
I still like the old look. New look, still good, still means the same thing, still means you're a state champion. And coming up today, it's going to be Class 5A and Class 6A. The 5A girls, 5A boys, 6A girls, and 6A boys will be taken to the hardwood for the state basketball tournament. So good luck to the Scottsboro girls, the Gunnersville boys. Good luck to the Hazel Green girls and Tim Miller. And Tim Miller and the Hazel Green girls, they went and traveled to Spring Garden.
Yes.
See, I was going to wrap all this around somehow, some way.
Yeah, you're doing it.
And Hazel Green and Spring Garden met each other. Fantastic environment, fantastic night for high school basketball. Still one of my favorite events of all time that I've ever been a part of. And there has been a lot of them. But still one of my favorite things. And I did get to run into Ricky Austin and Ace Austin at Jacksonville, at Jack State, before the Huntsville game. Had a chance to sit with them and visit with them. Man, I tell you what, still basking in the glow from that night, but now they are basking in the glow of a semifinal win.
Yeah, and it's so amazing how quickly the journey goes by.
Yeah.
Because we just seems like we were there in early November just 2 weeks ago, and Coach had just wrapped up a second straight volleyball state title. They were preparing for their opener with Springville. They hadn't even played a game yet. You could just tell how excited they were for this group of young ladies to go on this final ride and this journey. And now it is culminating tomorrow at 4:00. I don't think there'll be anyone left in Spring Garden. I think the entire town is going to be there. At least we certainly anticipate that. I want to be there very much so to see these young ladies write their final chapter. They're going to be playing the Brilliant Tigers, who are a first-time participant in the state championship game. But Spring Garden has been on an amazing run, and we were honored to take part of it with a signing with Alabama that day. And then you and Steve getting a ton of acclaim for putting together that broadcast against the Hazel Green Trojans, which was a huge win in so many ways for Spring Garden, because they got a high-level opponent to come to their gym, which is pristine, one of the nicest gyms in the state. But it's very difficult to get an opponent of that caliber to do that. Tim Miller did that. Now they'll play in the Final Four today. But it was a huge, watershed moment. I believe it was 63-46 was the final score. We know that Ace Austin scored 43, and they have used that momentum to carry them into the Final Four and now the state championship game. And we're going to catch up with our next guest on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And we know, hopefully, we got a ton of listeners from Spring Garden. It's such a special place. But Ricky Austin has been kind enough during their preparation for Brilliant to join us this morning and talk on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, how are you?
Hey, fantastic. How could I be? Not a great day today, guys. It's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
And Coach, let me ask you this. At this point, I mean, you're just over 24 hours away from playing in the state championship game. Is this, I'm not saying relax, and I'm not saying just take it easy, but the hay has got to be in the barn at this point. And I mean, all that's left to do is go out and play the game. Do you kind of just get a sense of ease at this point?
I don't think a sense of ease would be the right word for me right now. It's just a bundle of energy, a bundle of nerves, bundle of excitement. And while all those emotions are going on, you're coaching you're about to coach your last game with a special team, with a special player, and you're just trying to wrap all that up into one package and make sure you're enjoying every second of it. And that's kind of the way it is. But it's very, very business-like. Yesterday's practice was very business-like, and these girls are just amazing. It used to be about winning a ring, and all that. But these girls are really to the point to where they just want to, enjoy one last time together. And I can sense that out of them, and that it's more about, them enjoying the moment with each other than all the other stuff that's going on with it right now.
Well, and Coach, I was watching from afar at Jacksonville, and people need to understand. There's been a lot of talk about the seeding process and the way they, in some of these regionals being so weighted more so than others. But that was a very, very tough draw that your team had to go through. That Winterboro team, I watched that game. They were very long, very athletic. They had not lost a game, I believe, since December the 13th. They were 27-2, and your team won that game by 20, 54-34. And your daughter, Ace, suffers that injury. I saw it happen in real time, and I could tell she was hurting, but I also knew that if you tried to take her out, that probably wasn't going to happen. And that's what I was told afterwards, that you did try to remove her from the game and get her checked out, but she wasn't having any of that, Coach.
Absolutely. Just, a little bit about Winterboro. Yes, very, very good team. They were on our radar all year, knew our paths would possibly cross if we both did the things that we were supposed to do. And now that I've got to dissect some of the other regions a little bit more. I feel like Winterboro would have been very competitive, if not, one, possibly the other three regions that's out there. I feel like they would most definitely been a dominant team in both South regions, and I think they would have been a major player in the Northwest. And it was a tough opponent. And then, of course, the Eider itself was unreal. I don't think anything we've accomplished this year that they could not have accomplished as well. They're very well coached. They have a very good group of players, and they're very hungry. And they were as good as guard play, as far as guard play goes, as good as anybody we played all year. But yeah, you get back to the Winterboro game where Ace went down with the injury, and I'm not real sure if I really wanted to take her out, but my gut instinct was saying you might ought to check on her.
Yeah, check on her.
I just kind of said, hey, what do you want? And they were pressing us at the time, and Ace even made a statement after the game that was one of the better presses that she had played against all year. And so when it got down to where she was not mobile, she just looked at me and said, "Don't take me out, but don't put the ball in my hands." And I'm like, "Well, how do I do that as a point guard? You kind of starts with you right now." So I moved her to the middle of our press break to just kind of hide her a little bit to see if she could move. And about the third trip, she come back over and I said, "Are you good?" She said, "Yes, put me back on the front. I can handle this." So, it was all her decision. I wasn't really thinking take her out, but I was thinking, we got to do something different with her. I can't put the ball in her hands right now. But just mental tough kid. What a moment that I'll never forget. Not just, cause my daughter, but any player to tough it out and understand what was on the line and knowing that she might not be able to play the next game if she continued to play that game. Because, it was a significant injury, but what a way to battle through it, and what a way to keep battling and just be tough all the way through this whole process.
Well, that next game that you speak of, I think she was just fine, 32, 11, and 11, a triple-double in the semifinal game as Spring Garden was able to get a win over R.C. Hatch on Monday. Coach, just another big moment for your team there in Birmingham.
Yes, and prior to that game, people was, checking on Ace. Ace, how's the ankle? How's the ankle? And her answer was always, what ankle? And she just totally blocked it out. She was, what ankle? And bumped into some officials, and they're like, Ace, you need to be home icing. Scott, I think we saw you at Jack State.
Yeah.
He was telling me he needs to be at home icing. And she was like, wow, there's nothing wrong with my ankle. And then she'd get up. She couldn't hardly walk. But
I called it the most famous ankle in high school basketball at that point. So I asked her, I said, how's the most famous ankle? Because everybody was talking about the ankle.
Yeah, we've just kind of moved on with it, and she's handled it like a champ, obviously. But yes, great win in the semifinal game against R.C. Hatch. It's such a big stage. It's such a different atmosphere down there, and just to get down there and I try to tell people call me a lot. What do we have to do to win? And I'm like, guys, you hadn't got to play your best basketball that you've ever played in the Final Four. You just got to play better than your opponent. Everybody thinks you got to be perfect down there and it's got to be beautiful and all that. Nobody cares. It's about winning. Just play better than the other team. And I thought we did a good job of being relaxed in the semifinal game and just playing, being who we were. And it was fun to watch our kids produce that way.
It really was. And you have a big fan that listens to our show, and he hooks us up with you. And it's one of the reasons we've done this, Brandon Pilcher. And he was keeping me up to date, even when I was doing my show, and we were getting done with things. He was letting me know what was going on. And then I started watching the game. I was able to tune in. And I've got to know, it was either you, her two brothers, or her mother, her aunt, who taught her how to throw a basketball 80 feet. Because I got to tell you, I know there's flag football on the ladies' side now. She would probably be as good a quarterback as there is in the state of Alabama.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen her eyes light up as big as I did at the press conference after the game when a couple of reporters asked her about her quarterback arm. She got real excited and wanted to talk about that long pass. I don't know, guys. It just came at a young age, and all the beach trips growing up. She's the kid that will not let you sit down and just enjoy tranquility. She's wanting to throw a football 24/7, and it is, Dad, throw it as far as you can throw it. I'll go get it. And that's just kind of the way she's been. Her brothers have always been that way as well. But yeah, we throw a lot of football around, and she loves standing on the sideline and catching sideline passes and getting her toes in, toe tapping, and that's just something that I think her vision and her understanding of timing and how to release the ball is really special. I take it for granted because I see it every day.
Right.
When I hear the Coliseum, going all when they see a girl throw a one-handed pass 85 feet and it's on the dime, I'm like, well, that was nothing special. We see that all. But I do understand how special that is. And she does, her teammates really trust her on that now. They just run. And she just turns and puts it in their hands. So that's a luxury to have.
Well, Coach, regardless of the outcome tomorrow, this is the final game of the season. This is the final game in her illustrious career. Several others on this team, it's their final game. Is this your final game?
I hope not. I hope not. I feel like, winning is easy as far as the part it keeps you going. And I've got a lot of reasons to keep going. Coach is what I am. That's who I am. It's what I do.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine myself not being involved coaching somehow, somewhere, somehow doing something. I'm not ready to tap out. I've never thought I've had to be there and hold Ace's hand while she went on to college and be there at every step. It's time for her to grow. It's time for her to be a different, to open up the avenues in front of her and explore. And I'll be there for guidance and any of that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to point and tell her which street to choose. That's up to her now. And I think that's important in her growth to do what Coach Curry wants her to do down there. And so, she needs some time in the moment without mom and dad standing there, and she's made great decisions up to this point, and I continue to believe that she fully will. But yeah, I continue to be involved somehow, somewhere, doing something. Just can't imagine me not doing it. That's just not who I am.
Well, we love what you do and what you've done with these young ladies, and I know you were looking so forward to watching this group of seniors play together. And it kind of reminds me of Huntsville High's group. Now they fell a little short against Hoover, and I know y'all were there at Jacksonville and y'all were watching Huntsville High. It was a very special group of seniors. Counting the summer, Coach, they went 60-4 over their 9 months and lost 4 games by a grand total of 9 points. They didn't quite finish the drill, but your team has a chance to. And I know this team, I could tell emotionally, both from you and Ace when we were there in November, that this season was going to mean so much to you. Now it's, we're about a little more than 24 hours away or so from you taking the floor. But tell us about Brilliant, Hadley Sanderson, and that's the biggest thing. Your team is process oriented. These young ladies they want to just play together. But talk about the challenge of playing against a team that has kind of been a Cinderella story, and they upset Marion County over at Wallace, and they're making a little school history of their own getting to this stage.
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked that question because a lot of things have been about us, and I try not to go there. I still know the opponent, and what they're doing is a great story. They're a K through 12 school with less than 250 students. They're a public school with less than 250 students. They've got 8 girls on their basketball team. And it's so difficult to get girls to play basketball these days in small schools. And to put a nucleus together and what they're doing, they're a very dangerous team right now because they're doing things right now that they have not done all year long. They're riding an unbelievable emotional roller coaster ride. They have their entire county, not their town, their entire county is behind them right now, pushing them, and that makes them very dangerous. They have very good guard play. They're very well coached. And so as I'm watching film on them now, I'm seeing them continue to get better, and I believe we know what we're facing when they come in to play us tomorrow. They're going to play probably the best game that they've played all year long. and kudos to them. I'm just I'm a fan of girls basketball, and to watch a coach and a community bring up something like what they're doing, that's a story in itself, and it's special. And so we'll be ready, and I know they'll be ready, and I think everybody in Marion County is going to be there, and I know everybody in Spring Garden and Cherokee County is going to be there. And in a way, we talk about girls basketball on a decline, but we've seen some 1A girls basketball teams, some 1A girl basketball games and some games where 1A girls have been involved in it this year that has been some of the largest crowds that I can remember in my 29 years of coaching 1A basketball. And so, maybe we are growing. We just don't realize that we are growing in some of these areas. And so, looking forward to being back in Birmingham and playing for another state championship. I know Brilliant is. It should be a fantastic game.
Well, we look forward to it. It'll be 4:00 tomorrow in the Legacy Arena. And please, everyone, go if you can't be there. We certainly plan on trying to be there. I certainly do. But you can also watch on the NFHS network and watch these young ladies try to make some history, win 3 in a row, and playing against a great program like Brilliant. Well, Coach, it's been quite a run. We've been honored to be a part of it. We look forward to the final chapter for this group of young ladies tomorrow. Good luck, safe travels, and thank you so much for taking time out of a busy schedule to join us this morning and talk some Spring Garden Lady Panther basketball.
Hey, it's always fun to talk Spring Garden, but to be with you guys, it just takes it up another notch. Appreciate everything y'all do and putting us in the spotlight as well, and hope to see you guys in Birmingham.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Let's get a break and college football conversation next.
We got it.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a new wreck on Governor's West near Bridge Street. That one is being reported with minor injury. They canceled Rescue and Himsey on Governor's House in 9th Avenue. That one went out with injury and possible entrapment. The wreck on Highway 20 west of the Beltline and also Highway 20 near State Docks Road. Both should be clear now. With more than 30 years experience, D&L Refrigeration can save you money on those heating and air conditioning repairs. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Conference USA is bringing its premier basketball event back to the Rocket City. Don't miss the 2025 Conference USA Basketball Championships March 11th through the 15th at the VBC Probst Arena, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with CUSA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. Find out who's going to be putting on their dancing shoes. Tickets as low as $40. Visit Ticketmaster.com today to experience Conference USA hoops in the Rocket City, March 11th through 15th.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
We are your home for March Madness.
Here comes Suggs, long 3 for the win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Well, 8:23 on a Wednesday morning. Welcome back into the program.
That thing is heavy as hell, Scott. You were right.
That trophy, I told you that trophy, the Conference USA Tournament Championship trophy, is not light.
We got to get somebody to build a stand for it with wheels.
When Joel said it's probably 45 or 50 pounds, he was not exaggerating.
There's no way I could take that down the stairs without wrenching my back.
These players, when they lift it up, I guarantee you they're not expecting that thing to be that heavy.
Yeah,
when they lift it up. One quick football note, and there was a lot of stuff going on in the meetings. We have not had a chance to touch on all that. But the one thing that did come up yesterday was that Kalen DeBoer did tell On3 Sports that Alabama's A-Day game, there's been a lot of attention on spring games.
Because of them getting canceled.
Of games getting like not played in the public's eye, so to speak.
Or whatever, yeah.
But Alabama, they're still going to have something on April 12th. It's just not known what it's going to be. It's not going to look like its traditional A-Day form. There's going to be something, but we just don't know what it's going to be.
I mean, to me, it's not that big a deal. I know some people think I had people messaging me and responding on X saying, it's just another part of the fabric of the game that's going away. Look, when I was a kid, they didn't really have an A-Day game. You could go to a scrimmage and it was open, but in a spring game, but it wasn't on TV. There wasn't a lot made of it. Until I got into high school in the mid 90s. That's when they started making a bigger deal out of spring games. And then for a 25, 30-year period, they were starting being on TV. Everybody started making a big deal, filling the stadium. But things always evolve. And again, with NIL and the transfer portal, and I don't think either one of those are going away, you're just going to see a lot of spring games behind closed doors. They're not going to put it on television because they're trying to protect their rosters. It just is what it is. I mean, to me, I understand some people are going to be upset about that, but it's a spring friggin' football game. It doesn't count. So to me, I don't know why it's that big a deal, and then some coaches are going to want to scale back anyway because they don't want to get someone hurt. I honestly think that was Lane Kiffin's motivation. I don't think his motivation was protecting his roster.
No, because a lot of his roster anyway was transfer portal guys anyway.
I think he just didn't want to get people hurt. And so he wanted to protect as much of his inventory as he got so he could lose to Kentucky.
Let's go visit with Pat from Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Pat.
Morning, Pat.
Hey, man, you just not right. You just are not right. Poor Lane. Good job. Hey,
well, you wanted him to be the coach at Alabama.
Yeah, I do. School's still out. School is still out. And until we have a national title, school is out. But anyway, back to what the gist of my call this morning, that you're absolutely correct about the spring games. However, it is, guys, y'all don't realize that a whole lot of the sidewalk alumni look extremely forward to going to that game because that's all they can afford to go to. They can't afford the $600 plus for decent. That ain't counting just cost of seats. The fact that you come to Tuscaloosa, you got to pay not one night, but most of the hotels now require 2 nights of stay at a jacked up rate.
Right.
But
let me ask you this, Pat.
Difficult.
Let me ask you this. Before Nick Saban arrived and before Alabama got on the run that they were on, did Alabama fans care about spring games as much?
No. Until Coach Saban arrived and we had nearly 92,000 plus, I think, at that time, that no one cared about spring games that much. If we got, prior to Coach Saban arriving, I went to every spring game or every scrimmage, wherever we could get into, and the most people that were there probably was 15 to 20,000, if that many.
Yeah. Same.
But Coach Saban made a big deal out of it. But like I said, I do feel sorry for the people that can't afford, that don't have season tickets. I've got season tickets, but it is in this day and time of drones and the many cameras that are around. You're kidding yourself if you think that stopping a spring game is going to let anybody not know what you got. I mean, the only one that was capable of doing that was back in the day when Coach Bryant took and put canvas all around the deal where you couldn't see what he was doing, and nobody saw anything.
Well, look, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop everybody from going into the portal. There's still going to be guys after spring football, Drew, that are going to go into the portal because they can see the writing on the wall that they don't think they're going to get to play. So they're going to put their names in the portal.
Well, I think the 2 years, and it's been a full year for Kellen DeBoer, but I'm talking about this will be his second spring. I think he's done a really nice job of retaining his roster. So I don't really think it's paranoia on his part. I do think, though, in the back of his mind, he's remembering about Jalen Hale. And Jalen Hale got hurt and missed the entire season. And I think it had a detrimental effect on the offense.
So this is more injury related.
I think he's trying to protect his inventory and not get guys hurt. And so that's just the bottom line. And look, what have we talked about consistently about what the portal and NIL have done? Rob you your depth. So you don't have now you can get these freshmen, the Dijon Lees and these guys go through spring, but you can do that without an A-Day game and get them comfortable and get them ready to play going into the coming season. But again, I just think overall, when you talk about a spring game, the only thing that can come out of it is negative, and that's an injury. And you don't want someone getting hurt that you're really counting on, especially now when your team is not as deep because you lose guys to the transfer portal because of what you're saying, Scott. They're not playing.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Drew, that you and I were on top of Jalen Hale before Jalen Hale got his 5th star.
Yeah.
And a lot of people weren't, but you and I both were. And speaking of that, how is his progression? Is he going to be ready to play by the time we get to the meat of the SEC schedule this fall?
I think so, yeah. I think he's going to be ready for fall camp. I don't know how much he'll do. He'll probably be limited in spring, but he did practice during bowl preparation for the end of Nuke LaLoosh's career as the quarterback. But I think, overall, I think he's going to be ready to go for fall camp. They'll probably just have him like for Deontay Lawson and some of these other guys coming off injury. They're just going to be limited in the spring.
All right, Pat, thanks for the phone call.
Okay.
Thanks as well.
With a healthy Hale, we're going to be absolutely incredible.
All right. Thanks, Pat. We got to get a break in because when we come back, John Schulman is going to join us from the Music City.
I don't think he'll be wanting to drink zero sugared blackberry Dr. Pepper, though.
Get your Diet Coke on standby.
Yeah.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A fantastic Wednesday afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. Temperatures consistently going to climb into the lower 70s today. The average high temperature somewhere in the upper 50s and lower 60s, dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. There could be a couple of isolated showers through the early and middle part of Thursday morning. The vast majority of us going to end up staying dry. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Thursday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a new wreck on Governor's West near Bridge Street. That one is being reported with minor injury. They canceled Rescue and Himsey on Governor's House and 9th Avenue. That one went out with injury and possible entrapment. The wreck on Highway 20 west of the Beltline and also Highway 20 near State Docks Road. Both should be clear now. With more than 30 years experience, D&L Refrigeration can save you money on those heating and air conditioning repairs. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Atlanta Braves spring training is on from Florida. And this 2025 Brave squad is ready to get after it in Northport.
He waylays this thing way downtown. Swung on a fly ball, deep left center field, heading towards the gap. That is down for a base hit. Acuna hits the bag at third. Here he comes. Michael Harris taking no prisoners. It's a sweep.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio and have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time? or even show up at all, I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Conference USA is bringing its premier basketball event back to the Rocket City. Don't miss the 2025 Conference USA Basketball Championships March 11th through the 15th at the VBC Probst Arena, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with CUSA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. Find out who's going to be putting on their dancing shoes. Tickets as low as $40. Visit Ticketmaster.com today to experience Conference USA hoops in the Rocket City, March 11th through 15th.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, 8:36 on a Wednesday morning. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond, welcome back into the show. It's been a little bit since we've talked to our next guest. By the way, we'll be able to see our guests coming up later tonight, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We will be broadcasting tonight's Lipscomb and Central Arkansas game from Nashville, a game that means a lot to both programs for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, it does. I call it the UAH Bowl because we know what Lenny Acuff meant to UAH in the Gulf South Conference, but we also know what this gentleman did in being the keeper of the flame and keeping the Chargers atop the Gulf South Conference. He also, for 13 years, did an amazing job at the University of Chattanooga, and now is rebuilding the Central Arkansas program. And he's been kind enough to join us before his shoot-around and before the matchup tonight in the Atlantic Sun at Allen Arena against the Lipscomb Bison, and that is John Schulman. Coach, it's been a while. I hope you're feeling well. How are you,
Been a little bit.
Wow, the phones do work out there in Conway, Arkansas. I don't have to come back into Tennessee, come into your area for this phone to work. We do have cell towers.
Yes.
We do have electricity. We have a few restaurants. It's pretty cool.
Oh, we know you've got a few restaurants. We visited one.
Oh, we did.
Yes.
Y'all were out there?
Yeah,
well, we texted you. We were coming back from Dallas.
Yeah, you helped us out.
I think you were out recruiting.
You were recruiting, though. You were putting your roster together.
I'm actually glad that we didn't hook up. I mean, you guys been rude, man. Come on, man.
We had great Italian food. We're going to credit you with that.
We were boys back in the day. Come on, man. No, we're at. Listen, it's going to be great, Scott, to see you and tell you lies at halftime and talk to y'all after the game and Drew, I've been following you in Huntsville basketball. What a great run y'all had.
Yeah, it was a good one, man.
But no, it's we miss you guys and look forward to talking to you all and seeing you all later on today.
Yeah, and Coach, just take us through this first year at Central Arkansas.
Wow.
It's been a rebuilding project, but I mean, injuries have really kind of hurt this team.
Just be honest, we got decimated. It started kind of last fall, and we kind of projected Lane Taylor to be our starting point guard. He's a top 20 point guard in the country. He's an Arkansas kid, and Ty Robinson
would be our starting 2-man. He was number 4 player in the state of Arkansas, had signed at Florida Atlantic and left when Dusty May went to Michigan. That he was going to start at the 2, and probably Tyler Lee, Mr. Basketball of the state of Tennessee, was going to start at the 3 for us, and probably Javion Guy King was a returnee from their team last year, was going to start at the 4 for us, and none of those 4 guys are playing.
Wow.
And three of them have been out all year long. The point guard Lane Taylor was averaging 18 a game, was the 5th leading freshman scorer in the country. He's been out, I think, 10 or 11 games now. He had shoulder surgery, so he's out. And then our 5th, just be honest, our 5th best player, Elias Cato, had a hamstring issue and missed 5 or 6 games. Our backup starting point guard, which is now our starting point guard, missed a couple games with the back. Our starting 3-man hasn't played in 2 games with a shoulder issue. We signed Cole McCormick at Huntsville. Would have come to UAH to redshirt, and he's really been our 2nd best player this year. And so that's where we are. When we're having to play guys that we would have redshirted at Huntsville, that's where we are. And that's reality. It's not an excuse, it's reality. My first year, guys, at Chattanooga, I had Matt Malone miss 1 game and Jerice Crouch miss 1 game. We won the regular season. We won the tournament. Should have beaten Wake Forest. We missed 2 games, player games. We will be over 130 this year. And and it's really it's hard enough to, do this. Take Tommy Murr, take Tommy, Luke, Blake Campbell, and Saylor out of that lineup and see how good you are. It's just hard. You got to be fortunate. You got to get a little lucky, and we haven't. But I will say this: we have battled, and we accomplished a goal. And one of the goals, they hadn't played in the ASUN tournament the last 2 years, and we accomplished a goal. We were picked 11th in the league with all those guys, and we finished 10th without any of them. And so it's going to be a lot of fun for our kids. It's kind of like this. I remember one year, Scott, we had all those freshmen at Huntsville, and we're trying to get to Birmingham so we can let those young kids see what it's like to play in the GSD tournament, so they'll be hungry to get back. Just taking this step forward and playing in the ASUN tournament will help our young kids. You're going to see all of our team tonight. Most of them are going to be in street clothes, but we came down here. Not down here. We came over here to Nashville. We're playing Lipscomb tonight. We're staying because we're playing Stetson either in Nashville on Sunday or we're playing them in Florence on Sunday. So we're kind of making this a tournament experience for our kids to hopefully show our kids that there is some good stuff at the end of the season.
Well, and then, Coach, how does this affect? I know you're going to cross your fingers and toes. You're going to get all these guys back next year and healthy. But how does it affect? Does it change the way you would have built your roster going into next year? Because some of these guys, might not have been back. Now they will be. They should be. Does it almost accelerate your timeline though for year 2?
Well, you just don't. Here's the deal. You're excited when they're coming back. You almost like, hey man, that's great. They're hurt. Well, we get those guys back next year. Oh gosh, this guy played really good. Oh, he's going to cost a lot of money next year. It is a crazy level. We got a big old kid, Nehemiah Turner, 6'10", 285, and he was going to redshirt this past summer. Well, everybody went down, and all of a sudden, he had 23 against Austin Peay the other night, and he's not ready for this right now. He ain't ready to go against J.O. and Lipscomb tonight. But all of a sudden, he had a couple good games, and everybody's going, well, you're going to have a tough time keeping Nemo now. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And so it is you can't worry about that, Drew. All you do is worry about, it's kind of like this. Cheney, that was a done deal, man. He helped us go to the Sweet 16, and, he was playing well above Huntsville's level, and that was a done deal. Well, when we met with him, it wasn't a done deal. He loved UAH. He loved the school. He loved his teammates. He loved the program. He loved his coaches. He didn't want to leave. So we're hoping that if we build the culture very similar to what we did at Huntsville, that maybe kids won't run off for $200,000, but we're going to have to do our part with NIL, and we're working hard, and it's a thing, and it's a real thing, and it's a thing, at Alabama, it's a thing at Auburn, but it's also a thing at Central Arkansas and the Lipscombs of the world too.
You like to play with a lot of pressure at times. You like to push the ball. Your style is get up and down. How much of the injuries have affected how you play? I mean, have you had to change how you play on the court?
We've had to, and with Lane out there. Lane's a dominant 5'10" little white kid that was averaging 18 a game playing off ball screens. When he went down, we had to make a decision. Boys, this ain't good. What are we going to do? And so what we decided to do was really start putting in the base of our program instead of trying to squeak out games and survive. We just started building our program the right way. And so we've got, we're going to look very UAH-ish tonight, except we can't shoot, pass, catch, or think. All right. And those are four pretty important things, but we're still going to look like UAH, and we're going to look like our program did in Huntsville, but we're not there yet. We don't have 5 men that can pass, catch, think like a Dane Harding. We don't have guys who can shoot the ball like Luke. He's over there sitting on the bench. His name's Ty Robinson. We don't have guys that look like that they know exactly when to back cut and when to hand cut and when to come off this action. And it just takes a little time. The nice thing about, when Lenny started that thing at Huntsville, you redshirted these kids, and you weren't teaching the offense to 14 guys every year. You were teaching it to 3 guys, and the other 11 guys or 12 guys knew it. And that's how you build a program. It's really hard the first year to put all this stuff in, and we have. And then to face the injuries and goofiness that we've had this year, it's been difficult, but I'm just going to tell you, our kids were enthused yesterday at practice. They're excited about playing, and you've been around me long enough, Scott. I think the teams that want to play at the end of the year have the chance to have the best success.
Well, you had a lot of success in the Southern Conference. Now you've had almost a full year to get the landscape of the Atlantic Sun. It seems to be a really good mid-major league, Coach. Your thoughts on the strength of the conference?
Well, it's really a good league, and it's a unique league. Everybody's got their style and different way they play. Jacksonville tries to beat you up in North Florida. We beat North Florida the other night. North Florida beat Georgia Tech and South Carolina earlier this year. We beat North Florida the other night. They made 23s on us. So, I mean, they're a finesse team and shoot it, and JU tries to beat you up. UNA's really good, and Lipscomb's really good. We played really good the other night against UNA and got beat 23. But we don't have the bullets that they do right now. I tell you one thing, Huntsville and that community should be so flippin' proud of Ja'Cory Lane and Tay Fields. Oh, yeah. Like those dudes, and you want to hate them. You just want to despise them because they just go out there and whip your tail. And you know what? They are wonderful kids.
Yes.
They are great kids, and people better appreciate those two dudes. Tay Fields, God almighty, he couldn't make a shot outside of 8 feet, and all he did the other night was dominate the game. He was amazing the other night, and I appreciate their kids' attitudes and efforts. But those teams are really good. It's a spread out league, Drew. It was so kind to us. They're so nice to us that the first week of January, we flew down to Florida and played Florida Gulf Coast and Stetson, and then flew back home to Conway. And then the next week we flew back down and played JU in North Florida. And so we started out with 4 road games down in Florida. And you think it sounds good, but you're staying in a hotel in the middle of Jacksonville. You don't know if you're in Jacksonville or Florence, Alabama. So, but I do think it's a winnable league. I do think that we get the bullets in here that we need to get, that Central Arkansas won't be the laughing stock of the ASUN, and it has been, and I don't think it will be moving forward. Making the tournament's a big step for us. You think I'm crazy, but I mean, hey man, we fought for 10th place like we were fighting for an NCAA tournament bid at Alabama Huntsville. So it's important for us.
I know John Schulman joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, head coach of Central Arkansas. And Coach, I know you touched on Chaney a little bit, but I would be remiss though if we didn't ask you, watching him kind of burst onto the scene this year at Auburn and do what he's doing. How impressed are you with seeing all that?
Well, I'm not impressed because I knew he had that in him. I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. As you get older, you lose all this other mess. I'm proud of Chaney and happy for Chaney. I am so happy for Coastal and proud of Coastal. I am so happy for those kids at Huntsville. Those are children, and what do you want for your kids? You want your kids to be happy and successful and to be thriving, and all those kids are happy and successful and thriving. Chaney did call me the other day. I was at the airport. Chaney called me and went, "Coach, are you okay? Are y'all what y'all doing out there, man? Come on, can y'all win some games?" And I was like, "Thanks a lot, Chaney. I'm sorry we're not part of the number one team in America, and we just go in and beat everybody by 28 points. But that's family, man. I mean, Coastal's family. Coastal hurts for us when we lose, and he's happy when we win. I got a text from we beat North Florida, and our wings weren't doing a very good job in our zone. And Whitey, Trey Hamilton texts me. He's like, "Will you get your wings?" He texts me and Mac, "Get your wings bumping back down the corner before I kill them." Like we root for them and they root for us. And that's what relationships are all about. Hopefully I'll be at Luke's wedding this summer and Dalton Dodd's wedding next September. That's what this thing's about. We want to win games. Absolutely. We want to win championships. Absolutely. But at the end of the day in the journey, it is about relationships, and we're just very blessed to continue having a great one. I've had a blast watching Huntsville play, watching Daniel Saylor.
Yeah,
Scott, you don't remember this. The Union game during COVID, the last home game, we'd already clinched the regular season championship. We put Saylor in at the end of the game, and I told Ant, I was like, "Run something for Saylor to see if he can score the ball." He scored 2 points that year, and he made a post move and scored the last game of the season. We all cheered for him like he was the manager or the guy in the band that played in the game at the end of the game. We all cheered for him like there was something wrong with him. And he scored 2 points. And I'm just going to be honest. And I know Tommy and Luke have had an amazing year, and Blake, and I'm proud of those guys. But Saylor, oh my good God, he is the difference in the game changer in that league because nobody else has a Saylor.
Yeah. And Matt Thurman too, Coach.
Well, Thurman doesn't ever miss a shot. Now, here's what I'll let you behind the curtains. When there's a coaching change, some of the kids are devastated, and some of them are like, "Hey, man, this is a chance for me to reinvent myself and be." And that's what Matt Thurman has done, and so good for him. Good for him. And Mick has done a great job with his basketball team. Everybody thinks, boy, it's easy, man. You got Tommy and Luke, and it ain't easy. It's never easy. Trying to come in behind an idiot like me and taking an old team and making them yours is hard.
Yeah.
And so kudos to him. I mean, hopefully they're going to go undefeated in league play and be probably the greatest team to ever play in the GSC, which would be really cool. When you go undefeated in GSC play, that's pretty good. Not a lot of people get to do that.
No, they don't. And it's a relationship sport. And that's why our station is going to be able to bring you the Lipscomb game against Central Arkansas because of the relationships we have on both sides.
You don't have to worry, Coach. You might win tonight because Drew's not coming.
Yeah.
Well, as long as Drew doesn't come, it just gives us a shot.
See, I knew it. I knew it.
It just gives us an opportunity. Listen, here's what we're doing. Listen, Lipscomb's really good. They're playing for a championship tonight. We're going to be intense regardless but we're in the tournament. If Lipscomb wins tonight, we play Stetson at Lipscomb on Sunday, and then winner plays Lipscomb. If somehow, some way we could pull the upset of the century tonight, then we would travel and play Stetson Sunday in Florence, and the winner plays UNA. So we're on the road. We didn't get in here till about 10:30 last night because we're gonna miss class the rest of the time. Our schedule's been brutal, but everybody's schedule's been brutal. But
it's all right. That's what charter flights are for now, right, Coach? Your Division I charter flights, you're good.
Yes. We took that charter bus all the way over here last night. It wasn't a flight, and so. But it does feel good to be in Tennessee and be back in this area. It wasn't as much fun in Florence when we had everybody out, and then my second leading scorer got hurt during warm-ups. It's been a very unique. It's been a very unique. We had a kid, literally a kid that plays for us, got hurt in the airport the other day, and so and that's not easy to do. Get hurt in the airport.
Well,
but
the NCAA
is pull it off.
The NCAA is giving people back a year. Max could take a year.
Well, we're still looking. I've called Majette to see if he could come back, maybe, because he played Division II basketball, that's, all he has to do is sue the NCAA because that wasn't Division I basketball. So he should have 4 years to play Division I basketball. So we're going to talk and appeal to the NCAA and see if we can pull that off.
Well, good luck tonight, Coach. Thank you for joining us. And we certainly are following you closely and hope you continue to succeed and turn this program around and get them to the big dance, Coach. In the future.
That'd be fun. I appreciate you guys and always have and appreciate what y'all did for that community. And Scott, we'll see you. Am I talking to you at halftime, Scott?
You sure are.
Oh, boy, I'm looking forward to that.
Just like the old days.
Just like the old days. Y'all be careful traveling up. And Drew, I'm awfully glad you won't be here tonight.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that.
He means thanks, Coach. He means that with love, by the way.
He does, and I had less sleep than he did because I only slept for like an hour and a half.
He means that with love. He's probably had a few Diet Cokes in him by now, though, too.
I had some zero sugar Dr. Pepper Blackberry. Here.
All right, we're done. Don't forget UAH.
And look at the paperweight.
Been thinking about what kind of truck you need to pull that big boat or shiny Airstream Classic? I'd like to invite you to feel the torque of an F-150 Power Boost Hybrid. It combines the forces of gas and electric power for over 11,000 pounds of towing muscle. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, where you can test drive over 200 new F-150s. And you can save up to $13,500 off MSRP on a 24 XLT 4x4 with the Power Boost engine. Save over $13,000 on F-150 today. On your way to a growing family or already have one? Then a Woody